capture light rays in order to illuminate the stars. Yes. The light corridor by Infogrames may have a convoluted high-concept plot behind it, but ultimately, it's a game where you hit a metal ball down a corridor. Released in 1990, we're starting off on the Amiga. A Prince sample there. I think that's the Prince sample that's mentioned in the game. I don't know where it comes from, or which Prince song. And yeah, this is going to be a sample-tastic soundtrack. Get a menu. 1 player or 2 player. 2 player is turn-based. There's also a construction kit buried away in under options, as well as the option to access any level of the 50 if you have the level codes. You can control via mouse or joystick. And off we go. Now you have to press fire in order to walk forward. And you can't go through obstacles. At the moment I'm just hitting the ball. I'll press fire. And off we go. Those blue spinning objects are power-ups. And I've lost a life. And those red spinning objects that are power downs, which you want to avoid. So over to the ST. Same soundtrack. Looking very similar. And down we go. As I said, the red objects are power downs. The draw distance is rather shallow, so you don't get much warning of things that are coming towards you, either the ball or power-ups. And we're already onto stage 2, and there's our code for level 2. Yeah, you don't get much warning there, do you? Oh, yeah, and if you get hard up against objects, it can be too... Well, yeah, there you go. You basically can't react. Over to the PC, we're running this on my Amstrad PC 2086 with NEC V30 processor. Back in action. It's been out of action for quite a while, but thanks to Commodore Lad for repairing the PSU, and we have new capture for it as well. So it should be better quality than previously when I had to use S-Video to capture from it, or converting it to S-Video. I haven't got around to getting my ad-lib working with this as yet. Yes, I thought it was more important if you could just got it working. So I've got the beeper, which of course what most people would have had. I've accidentally selected 2-player. And you'll hear me tapping on the keyboard, because I haven't got audio capture working properly either as yet. That's the VJ version. Here's the CGA version, if you want to know what it looks like on CGA. Apparently you're walking down the corridor following the ball, not flying. I just assumed you were kind of flying, but yeah, CGA is, as you'd expect, really, garish. There's also an EGA version. It's kind of like, it looks almost like the VGA, so we won't show that. Just a bit more shading going on rather than solid colours. Oh. Yeah, again, I'm trapped there. This is a problem with the light corridor. Over to the Amstrad CPC. You would have thought, being an Amstrad game in France, it was coded in France, but no, it was coded in Spain by the same team that did North and South and Hostages. So a bit of variation in quality from their outputs. Pluses are power-ups here as well, so you've got slightly different. You don't have the spinning 3D things. And that power-up enables you to grab the ball. Oh. You still get the Prince sample. That is the Prince sample, isn't it? But you get music during gameplay on the Amstrad. That power-up should give us two bats that work opposite to each other. And as soon as you die, you lose your power-up. This is the Spectrum version. 2 bats on the go, going into level 2. Bit faster, less colour. This is awarded a gold award, or whatever SU gave, as the best ball batting game on the market. Your Sinclair said it was Linda Barker gave 80%, and And Linda Barker said, a good, honest, down-to-earth game. And yes, there's an MSX version being converted in Spain, although there's no MSX version of North and South, I don't think, that I can remember of. So yeah, here we are on the MSX. It's a straight port of the Spectrum. As you'd usually expect, I always say this is a stretch screen and a slower gameplay. And look, we're really utterly jammed now. The only way to get out of this is to press escape and lose a life. It is utterly game-breaking the way you can get stuck behind the objects. And in Amstrad Action, Adam Waring pointed out a problem with, well, the Amstrad version, but all these versions now on the Amiga. It's the flattest 3D game ever. Your ball has a shadow, but it's so flat. There's no real kind of sense of depth to it, especially with such a short draw distances. Right, that was an end of level section there that you get every so many levels. We have to solve a puzzle, and in that case, it's the easiest one. We just have to hit a square on the wall. No music on these 16-bit versions during the game. It really adds something to the Amstrad and Spectrum version. Over to the PC. But even the ball looks so flat. There's no spinning or anything. Yes, there's the shadow. And the other thing is, if you've played games like Robo Squash on the Atari Lynx, as I did, because it was the only game I had for quite a while on my Lynx, when you hit the ball in the bat in different places, the ball bounces off in different ways and you can put spin on it. You really can't in this. There's no... It's quite strange the way you just can't kind of put spin on the ball with movement. On all the versions, the bat movement is really annoying and frustrating. And sometimes it's... Oh, the ball on the PC version does spin. It just... You can barely see it. And there are ways to get spin on the ball, but they're just not... There's nothing with movement. You can't just move the bat and catch the ball and send it off. Even like in games like Breakout where you can do that. The physics are off. And then that happens just a lot. You just end up... Yeah, it's a nice idea, but it just falls short in so many ways. I'll get through there. And now you get things like bits of the level closing in on you, and there will be sections that home in on you and trace your movements. And quite often that happens where you just can't see where the ball was trapped, and then suddenly you move forward and bam. And sometimes it can take quite a while to get past objects. It's just frustrating. And that's an end of level section, so what do we have to do here? Hit all of the... Colour in all of the sections, I think. Which is not a matter of skill, it's just a matter of being patient enough, although you're going to loot. All these end of kind of these big sections like this are timed. So that's game over. Well, brilliant. Back on the Amstrad. In Amstrad Action, Adam Waring seems to be complaining that when you lose all your lives, you have to start the entire game again to reach the same point. At least I think that's what he's saying. Did he have a pre-production version without level codes? Or did he think that stuff was going to be taken out for the end user because they had a train copy? I'm not sure what he means there. Quite peculiar. ChinnyVision now has a Ko-Fi account, details and description below. By the time you watch this, I may have some extra special content on there for you as well. And that just funds the bits and pieces I need for the channel and keeps this place ad-free. And incidentally, all the level codes for each version are the same. So you can go on the ZX Spectrum tip shop, look up the level codes for the light corridor, and they will work for everything. Right, this is one of these sections where the kind of thing traces your movement. You have to get past it. Blindsided by the ball. There's so many games like this on the 8-bit Stun Runner, which is too slow to actually work, and the Duct, that unreleased Gremlin, well, it was never released at full price, Gremlin game, which again didn't quite work in 3D, very 2D. This is the ST version, level 16. And you're getting fatigued by the constant samples now. Oh no, it's this section we just saw on the Amstrad. Too fast. Right, got past him. Right, how do I get past him with the bat? And worse, my ball is bouncing on something I can't see. Oh, there's another one behind it. Right. Oh. This doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't get past. Can I go diagonally? Can I go? Don't know. Just... I'm completely stuck. Just... It's just nuts. Oh, the ball's bouncing around somewhere in the... There it comes again. Dear. How could you not notice this when you're coding the game? Because this isn't specific to the ST version. This happens on all the versions. You can get completely and utterly trapped by obstacles in the game. And it's just unfair. Looking at some of the other versions, Crash gave it 88%. And if you're wondering why I haven't showed a Commodore 64 version, despite the fact Wikipedia and lots of websites say there is one. This is the version, this is the same level on the ST. All the level layouts are the same in all the versions as well. Nice and consistent. Yeah, if you're wondering why there's no C64 version being reviewed, but it's listed on lots of websites, including Wikipedia, there is no C64 version. None. It doesn't exist. There was never a C64 version. For some reason, Infogrames didn't produce one. That's it. No matter how much websites seem to insist there is one, there is not. So here we are, that same section we saw on the ST. I know I said we'd already seen it, but we hadn't. Right, so does this... Yeah. Back to the Amiga. Does the ball look slightly not round on... Oh, it's going too fast now. No, it is round. I think it just looked a bit... Yeah. Now, this Amiga is accelerated, so it's going to be even worse. Although... Oh, dear. Why? Why? Yeah, actually, it does move. The movement is actually better on the Amiga on level 16 here, but... So perhaps they fixed it on this version, or perhaps my faster CPU fixed it. I don't know. You're just going to lose life after life, and it is a merciful thing that the game does have the level code. So, because nobody is going to complete this game starting at level 1. I think it's a game you get as far as you can, and then you use your level code to progress. But you would have to, without all those level codes, have to beat a level to get through, because you're not going to know what the codes were until you read them in your Sinclair or what have you. Perhaps that's what Adam Waring means. Perhaps he means you can't just select a level, you have to have the code, and therefore to get any further than the code you've got, you really do have to beat a level. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps that's it. Instead, when you've got the shadow bat following you around, your bat, as normal, can't go through objects, but the shadow bat can, so you don't get completely jammed up. Right. It's getting a bit hectic now. Level 40 on the Amstrad. It's nice to have the music and not the samples. I keep losing track of what power-up does what. Is that an extra life? Oh, no, it's L the other way that's an extra life, isn't it? Oh, that's the bat that... Oh, right, okay, yeah. That was the bat that holds the ball. When I'm playing this game, I just want to be playing Robo Squash on my Atari Lynx. Well, not my Atari Lynx that I don't have anymore. Because that was a decent and very underrated game. I do recommend it. Robo Squash. I think it's published by Atari themselves. It looks like a simple breakout game, but you're playing against the computer, and it's pretty good. And you can use comlinks if you've got a friend with a Lynx, which obviously no one ever did, because no one ever knew any other Lynx owners, let alone another Lynx owner with the same game. Right, we should be going towards the end of the game, I think, on the Amiga. This is the Spectrum version. I think this is the last level, which gets properly complex. Where's the ball gone? We've completed the game. We have rescued the light from the sun and illuminated the stars as per this end of game animation. We have completed the light corridor. Woo-hoo. Onto the ST version. Same section, level 50. And now we're flying through space with some objects we've already seen. Will we see a sun? Will we illuminate the stars? No. And on the Amiga. And I mentioned there's a construction editor on all these versions for the game, 8 and 16-bit. It's very simple to use, but has limited appeal because you can't be too creative with it. You end up making the same kind of levels that you've already seen. Might be nice to try and play against your friend where you've memorised what goes on, but ultimately I think of limited appeal. The Light Corridor is another one of those high concept French games that promises a lot and doesn't really deliver. You look at the game and think, oh, it's all in 3D. And then actually the 3D is very flat. There's no depth to it. You can only go forward, you can't go back. Okay, you can bat the ball left and right. It's always the same kind of flat objects with no depth that you come up against. There's no kind of cubes or anything. All the objects are wafer thin. On the ST and Amiga versions, there's no music during the game, just those samples which really get on your nerves. At least the 8-bit versions have a jolly tune to keep things moving along. The level code system works really well. That is one thing in favour of the game, that you don't have to start the entire game again, but you will have to defeat some levels that are pretty fiendish in order to progress. There's no level select at the start of the game where you can just say, I want to go to whatever level and just start from there. You have to have the code. Some of the Spectrum magazines gave this game very high marks, 93% in the case of Sinclair User, your Sinclair in the 80s, words like addictive being used. I would say once you strip away all the 3D frippery, this game is highly frustrating and deeply flawed.